You remember the exact moment the room went cold. It wasn't a winter day. It wasn't a drafty window. It was you. You did it. Think back to the last big win you had. The promotion. The new relationship. The day the numbers on the screen finally hit the target you'd been chasing for years. You felt that rush, that electric surge of dopamine that screams, "I have to tell someone." You pulled out your phone. Or maybe you were sitting across the table from them. You couldn't hold it in. You needed the witness. You needed the reflection of your own glory in their eyes. So you opened your mouth. You laid it all out. The numbers, the details, the victory, and you waited for the applause. You waited for the hug, the high five, the "I knew you could do it." But that's not what happened, is it? Pause. Replay that tape in slow motion. Look at their face. The second the words left your mouth, something flickered. It was microcosmic. A tightening at the corner of the lip. A slight narrowing of the eyes. A blink that lasted a fraction of a second too long. If you weren't looking for it, you missed it. But your subconscious caught it. That's why your stomach dropped, even though you kept smiling. That tiny flicker wasn't joy. It wasn't pride. It was pain. You just inflicted pain. And then came the mask. They recovered quickly. They put on the smile. They said the words. "That's amazing. Wow, good for you." But listen to the tone. It was flat. It was hollow. There was no music in it. The energy in the room didn't lift. It suffocated. You felt it instantly. A sudden, heavy distance that hadn't been there 10 seconds ago. You tried to fix it. This is the tragic part. You felt the gap opening, so you tried to bridge it with more words. You started over-explaining. You started downplaying it. "I mean, it's a lot of work though. I'm going to be so stressed." You tried to sprinkle some misery on your success just to make it palatable for them. You tried to apologize for winning. But the damage was done. Later that night, the silence was deafening. The text messages became shorter. The group chat moved on to a different topic with aggressive speed. You sat there, looking at your phone, feeling a strange mixture of shame and confusion. You asked yourself, "Why do I feel bad? I should be celebrating." Here is the uncomfortable truth you are avoiding. You feel bad because you just realized, on a primal level, that you are not safe. You thought you were sharing your joy. You thought you were bonding. But you weren't. You were signaling dominance. And in the eyes of the person across from you, you weren't a friend sharing good news. You were a threat. This is the fundamental error of the modern mind. We are told to share our journey. We are told to be visible. We are told that haters gonna hate. But you don't understand the mechanics of what you just did. When you show off, whether it's a humble brag about your grind, a photo of the view from your hotel room, or just a story about how you solved a problem no one else could, you are not creating connection. You are creating a hierarchy. You are implicitly saying, "I am here, and you are there." Even if you love them, even if you want them to come up with you. The act of display is an act of separation. And human beings do not tolerate separation well. Think about the specific person who drifted away recently. The one who used to be close, but now feels like a stranger. Trace it back. Did it start when you got the new car? Did it start when you lost the weight? You want to believe they are just busy. You want to believe life just got in the way. Stop lying to yourself. They didn't get busy. They got envious. And they got envious because you handed them the blueprint to your success and shoved it in their face. You forced them to look at their own inadequacies by broadcasting your competence. You didn't mean to. You had good intentions. You thought you were just being real. But in the dark psychology of human nature, intentions mean nothing. Perception is everything. And the perception you created was not one of inspiration. It was one of arrogance. You violated the laws of power without even knowing the rule book existed. You stepped into the spotlight without checking who was holding the knife in the dark. This is exactly why showing off is the worst thing you can do. It isn't just annoying. It isn't just cringe. It is a tactical error that converts allies into enemies. You took a neutral asset, your success, and you weaponized it against yourself. You painted a target on your back in neon paint and handed out the ammunition to the crowd. And the worst part? You did it because you wanted to be loved. You wanted validation. You wanted to feel seen. But by trying to force them to see your light, you only made them aware of their own shadow. And people will kill to extinguish the light that reveals their darkness. You are alone in that room now, confused by the distance, wondering why your success feels so heavy. It feels heavy because you are carrying the weight of their resentment. And you put it there. You volunteered for it. The silence you are hearing from them isn't peace. It's the sound of them sharpening their blades. Let's strip away the excuses. Let's stop pretending you do this to inspire others. Let's stop pretending you do this to archive memories. You do it because you are an addict. But you're not addicted to a substance. You are addicted to the reflection of yourself in the eyes of others. You have a hole in your chest where your self-esteem should be, and the only way you know how to fill it is by shoveling external validation into the void. Look at the pattern. It's the same every single time. It starts with the event. Something good happens. Maybe you close the deal. Maybe you hit a personal record in the gym. Maybe you just look particularly good in that lighting. In that split second, you have a choice. You could just be. You could sit in that feeling of accomplishment. You could let the satisfaction be internal. You could own that moment. But you don't. You can't. A panic sets in. A subtle, vibrating anxiety that whispers, if no one sees this, did it even happen? So you reach for the device. You curate the angle. You craft the caption. You frame it perfectly so it looks effortless, even though you spent 20 minutes getting it right. You hit post, and then the sickness begins. You put the phone down, but you don't really put it down. It's sitting there on the table, face up, like a bomb waiting to go off. You are physically present in the room, but your consciousness has uploaded itself to the cloud. You are waiting. You are waiting for the little red dot. You are waiting for the digital applause. And when you pick it up, you don't look at the photo. You look at the data. You tap the seen by list. You aren't checking to see if your friends are okay. You are checking the roll call. Did the person who ignored you see it? Did your ex see it? Did your competitor see it? You are hunting for evidence that you matter. This is the behavior of a beggar, not a king. A king sits on his throne and does not care who is watching. A beggar stands on the street corner, dancing, screaming, waving his arms, desperate for someone, anyone, to look his way and drop a coin of attention in his cup. Every time you show off, every time you broadcast your status, you are shaking that cup. You are screaming, "Please tell me I am good enough. Please confirm my existence." And it's not just online. The pattern bleeds into your real life, infecting your conversations like a virus. You're at dinner. Someone else is talking. Maybe they're telling a story about their vacation. You're nodding. You're smiling. But behind your eyes, the gears are grinding. You aren't listening to understand. You are listening to find the gap. You are waiting for them to take a breath so you can insert yourself. That reminds me of when I went to. Oh, totally. It's just like when I bought the. You hijack the narrative. You pivot the spotlight. You can't stand being an audience member in someone else's life. You have to be the protagonist in every scene. You think you're contributing. You think you're relating. But everyone else at that table sees it for what it is. They see the insecurity dripping off you. They see someone who is so uncomfortable with silence, so uncomfortable with being ordinary, that they have to constantly remind everyone of their resume. Pause and feel the humiliation of that truth. You think you're showing off signals power. You think the watch, the car, the title, the story about how busy you are. You think these things build a fortress of competence around you. Wrong. They are cracks in the foundation. Real power is silent. Real competence is self-evident. When a lion enters the room, it doesn't have to roar to tell you it's a lion. You know. You feel the weight of its presence. It is the small, yapping dog that has to bark to convince you it's dangerous. And right now, you are barking. You are barking at your phone. You are barking at your friends. You are barking at strangers. And every time you bark, you are telling the world exactly where you are weak. You are telling them exactly what you are insecure about. If you constantly show off your money, you are telling us you feel poor. If you constantly show off your intellect, you are telling us you feel stupid. If you constantly show off your partner, you are telling us you feel unlovable. You are handing out a map to your psychological vulnerabilities. You are showing your enemies exactly where to aim. And you are doing it all for a hit of dopamine that lasts for 15 seconds before the emptiness comes rushing back, demanding to be fed again. You are trapped in a loop of performance. You are an actor on a stage, playing a character called successful person, terrified that if the curtain falls, there will be no one left in the theater. But the audience isn't clapping. They're just watching. And they are starting to get bored. You think they admire you. You think they look at your life, your wins, your display, and think, wow, I want to be like that. You tell yourself that even if they are a little jealous, it's a form of flattery. Wrong. You are confusing admiration with envy. And in the dictionary of dark psychology, those two words are not cousins. They are enemies. Admiration is a feeling of respect. It pulls people toward you. Envy is a feeling of hostility. It drives people to destroy you. And here is the gut punch you have been avoiding. When you show off, you are not generating admiration. You are generating pure, concentrated envy. Let's look at the mechanics of what actually happens in their brain when you post that photo or tell that story. You think you are holding up a torch to light the way. You think you are saying, look what is possible. But that is not what they see. When you shine your light, you are not illuminating their path. You are blinding them. And worse, you are casting a harsh, unforgiving spotlight on everything they have failed to achieve. You are a walking, talking mirror. When you walk into the room looking perfect, the mirror reflects their mess. When you talk about your promotion, the mirror reflects their stagnation. When you talk about your happiness, the mirror reflects their misery. You are forcing them to look at their own inadequacy. You are the physical manifestation of the gap between who they are and who they wish they were. And nobody likes the person who makes them feel small. Nobody likes the person who reminds them that they are losing. Do you understand? You are not their inspiration. You are their insult. Test this right now. Think about your best friend, the one you tell everything to. Now, imagine you go to them tomorrow and say, I lost my job. My partner left me. I'm broke. Visualize their reaction. Really see it. They would lean in. Their face would soften. They would touch your arm. They would say, oh my God, I am so sorry. Anything you need, I'm here. They would feel a rush of warmth. They would feel close to you. Why? Because your pain makes them feel safe. Your failure preserves the hierarchy where they are okay, and you are the one who needs help. Pity is easy. Pity is comfortable. Pity costs them nothing. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine you go to them and say, I just made $1 million. My partner and I are moving to a villa in Italy. I have never been happier. Watch the movie in your head. Do they lean in? Do they touch your arm? Or do they freeze? Do they lean back? Do you see that flash of panic behind their eyes? That panic is the realization that you have surpassed them. And in that moment, the friendship dies and the rivalry is born. This is the Machiavellian reality. Men will forgive you for killing their fathers before they forgive you for surpassing their ambition. You are walking around with this naive belief that your friends want you to win. They do, but only up to a point. They want you to do well, but never better than them. As soon as you cross that line, as soon as you become too much, the switch flips. The person who was cheering for you yesterday is the person plotting against you today, and you are the one pressing the button. Every time you brag, you are soliciting hatred. You are begging for it. You are standing in the town square screaming, "I have more than you. I am better than you." And then you are shocked when they throw stones. You think your success is a shield that protects you. No, it is the blood in the water that attracts the sharks. This is why you feel that weird tension in your relationships. This is why you feel like you have to walk on eggshells around certain people when things are going well. You sense their hostility. You sense that they are waiting for you to trip. And they are. They are watching your stories not to celebrate your rise, but to monitor your fall. They are scrolling through your feed, hoping to see a crack in the armor. They are waiting for the day you post something sad so they can finally feel good again. You have turned your life into a spectator sport where half the audience is betting on you to lose. And the tragedy is, you sold them the tickets. There is a book that sits on the shelf of every CEO, every politician, and every shark you have ever met. You've probably heard of it. Maybe you've even read it. But you didn't learn it. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Do you know what the very first law is? It's not crush your enemy. It's not hoard money. It is this: never outshine the master. This is the Machiavellian law of gravity. And you break it every single day. You operate under the naive assumption that meritocracy is real. You believe that if you are the smartest person in the room, you will be rewarded. You believe that if you have the best idea, the boss will love you. You believe that if you are more talented than your mentor, they will be proud. You are wrong. Power is not about competence. Power is about security. The people above you, your boss, your parents, the leaders in your social circle, they are not gods. They are fragile, insecure human beings terrified of losing their position. They wake up every morning wondering if today is the day they become obsolete. And then here you come, bright, young, talented, loud. You walk into the meeting and you solve the problem they couldn't fix. You throw out an idea that is 10 times better than theirs. You charm the client they struggled to connect with. You think you are being a good employee. You think you are adding value to the team. But in the primitive brain of your master, you are not helping. You are hunting. When you display your talents too openly, when you shine too brightly, you do not make the master look good. You make them look dim by comparison. You trigger their deepest insecurity, the fear that they are being replaced. Machiavelli warned us about this 500 years ago. He knew that a prince does not want a general who is more beloved than he is. If the general wins the war and the people cheer for the general, the prince does not give him a medal. He cuts off his head. Translate that to your life. Remember that time you corrected your boss in front of the team? You were right. You were factually, objectively right. But you noticed that the next week, you got left off the email chain. You noticed the plum projects started going to the guy who is half as smart as you, but twice as quiet. You sat there confused. Why him? I'm better than him. Exactly. You are better. That is your crime. The other guy survives because he is harmless. He is a mirror that reflects the boss's ego back at him at double the size. You are a threat because you reflect the boss's inadequacy. The physics of power are simple. Stars that burn too hot near the sun get extinguished. The sun will not tolerate a rival gravity. This applies to your friends too. If you are the one in the group who is always winning, always dominating the conversation, always the center of attention, you are outshining the collective ego of the tribe. You are making yourself the master, and you are forcing them to be the servants of your story. And nobody wants to be a servant. So they revolt. This is the trap of talent. Your talent is a weapon. But if you brandish it like a toy, if you wave it around without discipline, you will accidentally cut the people who hold the keys to your future. You think you are proving your worth. What you are actually proving is that you are dangerous. And in the game of power, dangerous things are not promoted. They are eliminated. Let's talk about poker. You are sitting at the table of life. Every interaction, every deal, every relationship is a hand being played. You have cards. Your skills, your money, your connections, your plans. These are your hand. What is the first rule of poker? You never show your hand until you have to. But you are playing with your cards face up on the table. You are flipping them over before the betting has even started. Look at my aces. Look how strong I am. You think this intimidates the other players. You think this makes them fold. But the real players, the ones who actually win, are looking at your cards and smiling. Because now they know exactly how to beat you. When you show off, you are giving away information. Information is the most valuable commodity on earth. Information is leverage, and you are giving it away for free. You tell everyone your big plan for your startup. Now they can steal the idea. Or worse, they can find the flaw in it and exploit it before you even launch. You tell everyone exactly how much money you made. Now they know exactly how much they can ask to borrow. Now the mechanic knows how much to overcharge you. Now the friend with the investment opportunity knows exactly how big of a check you can write. You tell everyone about your new relationship, about how perfect they are, about your vulnerabilities. Now the person who wants to ruin you knows exactly where to aim the arrow to hurt you the most. Visibility is vulnerability. Every time you open your mouth to brag, you are creating an attack surface. You are expanding the area where you can be hit. Think about the military. Why do they wear camouflage? Why do they build stealth bombers? Because if the enemy can't see you, they can't kill you. But you are walking through the jungle wearing a neon vest, blowing a trumpet, screaming, "Here I am." And then you wonder why you get ambushed. You are confusing being seen with being powerful. They are not the same. The most powerful people in the room are usually the quietest. They are observing. They are gathering data. They are learning your weaknesses while you are busy broadcasting your strengths. They know everything about you, what you value, what you fear, what you crave. And what do you know about them? Nothing, because they haven't told you. This creates an information asymmetry. They have the advantage. You are flying blind, and they have radar. When the conflict comes, and it always comes, who do you think is going to win? The person who has revealed every weapon in their arsenal? Or the person who has a hidden dagger they haven't shown yet? You are making a strategic error of the highest order. You are trading tactical advantage for emotional validation. You are selling your safety for a like. Stop and let that sink in. You are giving your enemies the blueprint to your destruction, just so you can feel a momentary buzz of, "I'm important." It is a bad trade. The ancient Chinese strategist Sun Tzu said, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. You are not the night. You are the fireworks. You are bright. You are loud. And you burn out in seconds. And when the smoke clears, everyone knows exactly where you were standing. You need to learn the power of the fog. You need to learn how to move without leaving a footprint. You need to understand that the less people know about you, the more power you retain. If they don't know what you have, they can't take it. If they don't know what you're doing, they can't stop it. If they don't know who you love, they can't use them against you. Silence is a shield, and you threw yours away because you wanted to hear the sound of your own voice. They don't attack you with a sword. They attack you with a whisper. You have this cartoonish idea of what an enemy looks like. You imagine a villain twirling a mustache, plotting your demise in a dark room. You imagine a screaming match. You imagine a fist fight. But real life isn't a movie. Real sabotage is boring. Real sabotage is invisible. And real sabotage is usually committed by the person smiling next to you in the photo you just posted. Let's look at exactly how the envy you triggered actually works. It starts with the concern troll. You just bragged about your new business venture. You told everyone how much money you're going to make. You posted the hustle shot. Your friend, the one who is secretly drowning in debt and hates his job, doesn't come to you and say, "I hope you fail." That would be too obvious. That would make him the bad guy. Instead, he goes to your mutual friends. He lowers his voice. He puts on a face of deep, furrowed concern. "I'm really worried about your name. This new project sounds risky. I just don't want to see him get hurt. He seems a little manic lately, doesn't he? Do you think he's okay?" See what he did? He just planted a seed of doubt in the entire group. He framed your ambition as instability. He framed your success as a symptom of mental illness. He isn't attacking you. He is worrying about you. He is assassinating your character under the guise of protecting it. And because you were so busy showing off, you gave him the ammunition. You gave him the manic energy he needed to sell the lie. Then comes the passive resistance. This happens in the office. You're the star. You're the one crushing the KPIs and making sure everyone knows it. You think the team is behind you. But suddenly, things start getting sticky. The report you need from your colleague is late. Again. "So sorry, just swamped," she says with a bright smile. The email with the crucial invite accidentally went to your spam folder. "Oh no, I must have typed it wrong." Technology, right? You think these are accidents. You think people are just incompetent or busy. Wrong. These are micro breaks. They are tapping the brakes on your momentum. They can't stop the car, but they can let the air out of the tires. They can make your life just hard enough, just frustrating enough, that you start to stumble. They are using friction as a weapon. And why are they doing it? Because you made yourself a tall poppy. In Australia, they have a phrase for this: tall poppy syndrome. The flower that grows taller than the rest of the field gets its head cut off. The collective instinct of the group is to maintain equilibrium. If you stand up too straight, if you shine too bright, the group impulse is to drag you back down to the average. It is the crab bucket mentality. If you put a single crab in a bucket, it can climb out. But if you put 10 crabs in a bucket, none of them will escape. Why? Because the moment one crab starts to climb near the rim, the other crabs will reach up, grab its legs, and pull it back down into the pile. If I can't have it, neither can you. This is the physics of the environment you are creating. Every time you show off, you are the crab reaching for the rim. You are signaling to the other crabs that you are leaving them behind. And their instinct, their primal, biological instinct, is to grab your leg. They will pull you down with gossip. They will pull you down with exclusion. They will pull you down with concern. And here is the tragedy. You could have climbed out. If you had just moved silently. If you had climbed the wall in the shadows. If you hadn't stopped halfway up to yell, "Hey guys, look at me. I'm escaping." You would be free. But you needed the audience. You needed the crabs to clap for you. So you woke them up. You alerted them to your escape. And now, you are back at the bottom of the bucket, wondering why your legs are bruised, blaming bad luck or toxic people. It wasn't luck. It was mechanics. You triggered the sabotage protocol. You pressed the button that said, "Destroy me." You think you found a loophole. You think you found a way to get the high of showing off without the penalty of looking arrogant. Enter the humble brag. This is the most dangerous mutation of the virus. It is the attempt to package your pride as a complaint. It is the art of screaming, "Look at me," while pretending to whisper, "Poor me." And you think you're slick. You think we don't see what you're doing. Ugh, I am so exhausted. I have been in 3 different time zones in 3 days. The jet lag is killing me. Translation: I travel internationally and my life is important. I can't believe I look like such a mess. No makeup day. Posted with a photo where the lighting is perfect, the angle is flattering, and you look flawless. Translation: I am naturally beautiful and I don't even have to try, unlike you. So stressed about tax season. The government takes so much. Translation: I make so much money that my tax bill is bigger than your salary. Do you realize how repulsive this is? When you brag openly, at least you are being honest. You are saying, "I am proud of this." There is a certain integrity in owning your ego. We might envy you, but we don't necessarily despise you. But when you humble brag, you are insulting our intelligence. You are treating the people around you like idiots. You are assuming they are too stupid to see the subtext. You are trying to manipulate their perception so that you get 2 rewards for the price of 1. You want the admiration for your success. You want the sympathy for your struggle. You are a glutton. You want to eat the cake and have us feel bad that you're full. And the reaction this triggers isn't just envy. It is disgust. It creates a visceral, physical recoil. When someone reads your post about how hard it is to manage your renovation, they don't think, "Oh, poor thing." They think, "Shut up." You are violating the social contract of empathy. Empathy is a resource we reserve for suffering. Real suffering. When you try to hijack that resource to validate your privilege, you are committing a kind of emotional fraud. Think about the guy at the gym. The one who posts the video of himself lifting a small car with the caption, "Felt weak today. Need to grind harder." He wants you to say, "Weak? Bro, you're a beast." He is fishing. He has cast a line into the water, baited with false humility, waiting for you to bite. And if you don't bite, if you don't give him the comment he wants, he feels resentful. He feels unsupported. This is the definition of a covert contract. You are creating a scenario where the only correct move for the audience is to praise you. And if they don't, they are the bad guys. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that if you just posted the photo and said, "I worked hard for this and I'm proud," it would be scary. It would be vulnerable. It would open you up to judgment. So you hide behind the complaint. You use this struggle as a shield. But the shield is made of glass. We can see right through it. And here is the dark psychology consequence. You are training people to disconnect from your actual pain. The boy who cried wolf didn't just lie. He used a crisis to get attention. You are the boy who cried struggle. You have framed your successes as burdens so many times that when you actually hit a real rock bottom, when you actually need help, nobody is going to believe you. They will look at your crisis and think it's just another performance, just another plea for engagement, just another humble brag. You have devalued your own currency. The most sophisticated Machiavellians know that if you must show off, which you shouldn't, but if you must, you do it with zero apology. You own the arrogance. I won. Deal with it. That is aggressive. That is bold. But it is clean. The humble brag is dirty. It leaves a slime on the interaction. It makes you look insecure, manipulative, and deceitful all at once. You aren't protecting your reputation by masking your pride. You are destroying it. You are turning yourself into a caricature. A person so desperate for applause that they will pretend to be miserable just to get it. There is a curse that comes with visibility. It is not supernatural. It is economic. It is biological. It is the resource curse. In nature, if an animal finds a massive carcass, a surplus of food, it has two choices. It can eat quietly and quickly, or it can roar and announce its kill. If it roars, it doesn't just attract a mate. It attracts scavengers. It attracts hyenas. It attracts every parasite in a 5-mile radius that wants a piece of the meat without doing the hunting. You are the animal roaring. When you flash your lifestyle, when you signal that you have surplus money, surplus energy, surplus time, surplus happiness, you are ringing the dinner bell for the leeches. And they will come. They come in the form of the business opportunity from a guy you haven't seen in high school. They come in the form of the distant relative with a sudden medical emergency. They come in the form of the new friend who always seems to forget their wallet when the check comes. But these are the obvious ones. The dangerous parasites are the emotional ones. These are the people who attach themselves to you because your light makes them feel warm. They don't want your money. They want your life force. They want to be associated with your success so they can absorb your status by osmosis. They are the clout chasers. They will laugh at your jokes even when they aren't funny. They will agree with your opinions even when you're wrong. They will mirror your behavior. They will stroke your ego until it is swollen and pink and sensitive. And you love it. Because you are an addict, remember Act 2? You love the entourage. You love feeling like the center of the universe. But you don't realize that you are not the leader of a tribe. You are the host of an infection. These people are not there for you. They are there for what you provide. And the moment the provision stops, the moment the money dries up, the moment the status fades, the moment you are no longer cool, they will detach and find a new host before your body is even cold. You are renting friends with the currency of your display, and the cost is higher than you think. Because while you are busy managing this entourage, while you are busy feeding these parasites, you are draining your own resources. You are spending your energy maintaining the image that attracted them in the first place. It is a Ponzi scheme of the soul. You have to keep showing off to keep them interested. You have to keep escalating the display. The car has to get nicer. The parties have to get bigger. The stories have to get crazier. You are running on a treadmill that is speeding up, terrified that if you trip, everyone will realize you are just a human being. And the irony? The real people, the ones who would actually love you for who you are, the ones who don't care about the carcass, they are staying away. Why? Because healthy people are repelled by flash. Secure people find showing off distasteful. They see the circus you have created, and they want no part of it. They see the parasites swarming around you, and they think, too much drama, too much noise. So by showing off, you are actively filtering your social circle. You are filtering out the high-quality, authentic connections, and you are filtering in the narcissists, the users, and the empty vessels. You are curating a VIP list of people who will betray you. Look around your table right now. Look at the people you spend your time with. How many of them would be there if you lost everything tomorrow? How many of them know your fears? How many of them know the real you, the one without the mask? If the answer is not many, it's because you built a relationship based on the mask. You sold them a product, not a person. And you can't be mad at the customer for leaving when the product is no longer in stock. You created this market. You set the price. You advertise the goods. You are the architect of your own loneliness. We have spent the last 20 minutes talking about them. The haters, the envious friends, the parasites, the saboteurs. But now, we need to do the hardest thing of all. We need to turn the camera around. We need to talk about you. Because at the end of the day, their reaction is just a symptom. The disease is inside you. Why do you do it? Why do you have this burning, itching compulsion to broadcast your life? Why can't you just eat the meal? Why can't you just drive the car? Why can't you just be happy in silence? Here is the answer you are terrified to admit. You show off because you don't believe you are real until someone else confirms it. You are a ghost in your own life. You feel insubstantial. You feel small. And you think that if enough people look at you, if enough people envy you, if enough people click, like, it will finally make you solid. You are using other people's attention as a prosthetic for your own self-esteem. And this is the ultimate weakness. You think you are projecting power. You think the watch, the title, the body, the aesthetic. You think these things scream, I am strong. They don't. They scream, I am needy. Think about the toughest person you know, the most dangerous person, the richest person, not the loud ones, the real ones. Do they post about their grind? Do they brag about their money? Do they fish for compliments? No, they are silent. They are indifferent. They don't care if you know who they are. In fact, they prefer if you don't. Why? Because they are full. They are full of their own certainty. They possess themselves. They don't need your validation to know their worth. Just like a mountain doesn't need you to look at it to know it's a mountain. It just is. But you are hollow. You are an empty vessel that needs to be constantly filled with the praise of strangers to keep from collapsing. And everybody knows it. That's the humiliating part. You think you are fooling us. You think we see the image you curated. But on a primal, intuitive level, we see the desperation. We see the posturing. In the animal kingdom, the small dog barks. The pufferfish blows itself up to look bigger. The weak animal makes the most noise. It is a biological law. The louder the display, the deeper the insecurity. When you show off, you are literally broadcasting your lack of confidence. You are telling the world, I am not used to this success. I don't feel like I belong here. Please tell me I deserve this. If you were truly used to winning, it would bore you. You wouldn't talk about it. It would be as mundane as brushing your teeth. The fact that you are making a spectacle of it proves that it is rare for you. It proves that you still feel like an imposter. And this makes you a slave. This is the darkest truth of all. As long as you need to show off, you are a slave to the audience. You have handed them the remote control to your emotions. If they applaud, you feel high. If they boo, you feel low. If they ignore you, you cease to exist. You have zero sovereignty. You have given your power away to the mob. You are dancing for your supper, terrified that the music will stop. Is that power? Is that winning? No, that is servitude. You have built a golden cage and locked yourself inside it. You are trapped in the cycle of feed me. And no matter how much attention you get, it is never enough. It is like drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. You need to look in the mirror and ask yourself the question that hurts. Who am I when nobody is watching? If the answer scares you, if the answer is nobody, then that is your problem. No amount of showing off will fix that. No amount of envy will fill that hole. You are trying to solve an internal problem with an external solution, and it is killing you. You are painting the outside of a house that is rotting on the inside. Stop looking for the audience. Stop performing. The only applause that matters is the silence of your own self-respect, and you will never hear it as long as you are screaming for attention. You are standing at a fork in the road. You can't unsee what you've seen today. You can't unknow the mechanics of the trap you've built for yourself. You have two options, and you have to choose right now. Option 1. You stay on the treadmill. You keep posting. You keep bragging. You keep feeding the beast. You keep looking for that hit of dopamine, and you will get it. You will get the likes. You will get the hollow compliments. But now, you will know the truth. Every time you see that notification, you will know it's a lie. Every time you see a friend smile at your success, you will wonder if they are holding a knife. You will spend the rest of your life as a paranoid clown, dancing for an audience that is slowly turning against you. You will grow old, surrounded by people who don't know you, clutching trophies that mean nothing, terrified of the silence. That is the path of the peacock. Bright, loud, and the easiest prey in the jungle. Or, option 2, you embrace the ghost strategy. You go dark. Not the kind of dark where you deactivate your accounts and make a big dramatic scene about taking a break. That is just another cry for attention. No, you go dark in plain sight. You stop giving them the data. You stop feeding them the narrative. You still show up. You still smile. You still participate. But you stop revealing the core. You become a surface without a bottom. You become a mirror that reflects them back to themselves, but shows nothing of you. When you win, you say nothing. You let the victory sit inside you. You feel the pressure of it building, like steam in an engine. You don't release the valve. You use that pressure to drive you to the next win. When you lose, you say nothing. You don't look for pity. You lick your wounds in the shadows. You heal, and you come back stronger. And because nobody saw you bleed, nobody knows you are mortal. You let them underestimate you. In fact, you encourage it. Let them think you are average. Let them think you are struggling. Let them think you are stupid. Because when they think you are nothing, they lower their shields. They stop watching you. They stop plotting against you. And that is when you are free to move. That is when you can build your empire, brick by brick, in the silence, without interference. Imagine the power of that. Imagine walking into a room knowing you are the most powerful person there, not because you have the loudest voice, but because you are the only one who knows what is actually going on. Imagine the look on their faces, 5 years from now, when you suddenly emerge. Not with a plan, but with a result. Wait, when did he do that? How did she pull that off? They will be shocked. They will be confused. And yes, they will be envious. But it will be a different kind of envy. It will be the envy of the mystified. They won't be able to sabotage you because the work is already done. The castle is already built. The moat is already dug. You have already won. But to get there, you have to kill the part of you that needs the applause. You have to mourn the death of your ego. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to be invisible. It will be painful. The next time something amazing happens to you, your thumb will hover over the post button. Your throat will burn with the urge to tell the story. You will feel that physical ache to share it. Don't swallow it. Keep it. Own it. That burn you feel, that isn't pain. That is power accumulating. That is your soul sealing up the leaks. That is you becoming a vessel that can actually hold something real. The world is noisy. Everyone is screaming, "Look at me." Everyone is selling their privacy for a moment of fame. Be the exception. Be the void. Be the silence that makes them lean in. The most dangerous thing in the room is never the one making the noise. It is the one sitting quietly in the corner, watching, waiting, and planning. Become the ghost, and let them chase a shadow they can never catch.